As a busy entrepreneur, you have a lot of responsibilities, and it's hard to be an entrepreneur with all of those work responsibilities and to be a mom or dad. But one of the things that you can do to really be present with your kids is to be intentional about making time just for them. So that means saying yes to them and no to some other things potentially. Welcome to Press Pause. Today I want to talk with you about how to press pause and be present with your kids. So one of the things that is important to do is to say yes to your kids. Now this means that you may be saying no to other things. You know, you and I could probably both work 24/7. There's always so many things to do. As a busy entrepreneur, you have a lot of responsibilities, and it's hard to be an entrepreneur with all of those work responsibilities and to be a mom or dad. But one of the things that you can do to really be present with your kids is to be intentional about making time just for them. So that means saying yes to them and no to some other things potentially. So I had a colleague that I was talking to about this the other day who asked the question, and there was a group of us that were talking together, and she said that her 9-year-old daughter was a bit upset because she was going to be going away for another speaking engagement, that she'd been getting quite a few of these and it was exciting, her business was growing, but that her daughter was starting to have some attachment issues with it. And as we were talking around the table, many of the other women and men just said, oh, well, you know, it's good for them. Your child is going to be able to see what you do and that, you know, that your work is important and that you're making a difference. And this was the general consensus of the group that I was with. And then I was the last one to speak, having raised 3 kids of my own while running a business. And what I said was, be really careful of the times that you say no to your kids and yes to the work. Because if I could go back, I would say yes to my kids so much more. And what I suggested is that she actually not do that speaking engagement and be with her child. So I may get some backlash from you on this, and I don't want to create mom or dad guilt here, but I've also really realized in my own life that there were times that I could have said yes to my kids and no to my work. So just look at it, have the conversation, have the think time with yourself on what is most important and how you balance it. Because it's not easy, and I know that, but find ways that you can say yes to your kids. So number 2, create really clear work boundaries. And I know this is hard. I mean, some of the businesses that you run really take a lot of your time and effort. Maybe you're in a startup right now and it just feels like there's a lot of things going on. I have a colleague who's dealing with a major client issue right now, and it's just taking all of their effort and focus. But you can create clear work boundaries because you know what? That amount of work is never going to go away. And if you keep telling yourself, well, it's going to get better later, you're going to blink and your kids will have grown up. So I challenge you and I encourage you to create those work boundaries now. So what do those look like? Can you say that, okay, 6 o'clock at night at dinner time, my work is done. I'm putting it away for the evening. That is going to be time with my kids. I know that in talking to some of my community that you may actually have scheduled your work around your kids' school schedule, which is awesome. So maybe it can be that at 3 o'clock when you pick up your kids from school, that you are going to, for those next couple hours, be really focused on your kids. And that's going to be a clear work boundary where you don't take any work calls. Maybe you go do emails again after the kids are in bed. So what are those work boundaries? Set those and then stick with them. And then let your kids know about them too. I know it's certainly a challenge. You may work from home now. I know that that's a lot of us do. We have the opportunity to work from home, but yet then we've got home and work together, and it really becomes harder to create those boundaries. So if you can have the conversation with your kids that this is mom's work time, and this is the time that I'm available to you, that can be really helpful as well. Number 3 is create some fun outings with your kids. Doing some things that you both like to do. So what gets your kids excited? You may have more than one child and they may like different things. So spend some one-on-one time with different kids doing different activities that you can do together, something that they think is fun and that they can look forward to. Number 4 is create some new family rituals. You may have some already and maybe they've gone to the back burner just with a busy work schedule. So get those family rituals back going again. We had Friday fun night where we would always get pizza, we'd play games. The kids could choose different activities that we would do. Maybe you pick a day of the week where the kids get to decide what's for dinner or something like that. But create some family rituals that you can do together. And then finally, look for some things that you can do where you can really listen in with your kids. So spend time where you can be one-on-one, completely undistracted, meaning put those devices away and really listen to your kids. So I want to give you an example from my own life when I was a young entrepreneur and my kids were small, and I just felt like I was running from work to their activities, and I just had so much going on that I didn't feel like I always did a really good job of being present with my kids. And I remember one day that I was sitting with my little one on the couch and I thought that I was being present, but you know what? My mind was still at work. Maybe that's happened to you. And I remember she took my face in her little hands and she turned my face to her. She said, "Mommy, are you listening?" Wow, that broke my heart because I wasn't. I was there physically, but my mind was somewhere else. So in order to be present with your kids, really be intentional about putting away those distractions. Put away your work, put away that phone, and just talk to your kids about things that interest them and really listen. And then the last suggestion that I have is plan a fun vacation activity together where you can actually have some unplanned, scheduled time that you're just with your kids, that you're not just taking a short break from work, but you're actually taking a longer break where you actually have time to rest and rejuvenate together. So as I'm recording this, it's summertime, which is a great time to get outside and to do some fun things with your family, and especially with your kids. So plan just a really fun outing or vacation time where you can really have some longer unplugged time together. It's going to do wonderful things for your relationship. So I hope that you can use these tips and find some new ways to be more present with your kids. It's going to be worth it.